Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay, and this is Football Talk. And in this one, I will be reacting to EA release a new College Football 25 update. Oh, so we got another update that just came out. Last time we was talking about the update that was also going to come out. He did mention that, and I think it was last week I reacted to it. So he did mention that. Okay, this the update that he was talking about. Man, oh man, without further ado though, let's jump right into it.
EA Sports just put out a small update for College Football 25 that fixed a few key issues. Now, I'm going to go over what was fixed in this update. I'm going to also give you some more info on what's to come, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the things that's going on in the game right now that I think people are a little confused about. There's certain things happening in the game that some people think are bugs or an issue to be fixed when they're actually intentional, whereas there are some other actual real bugs in the game that are being worked on. So we're going to cover all of that just to make sure everybody knows what's going on. And if you're new to the channel and you don't want to miss out on any of the future updates for this game, as it's going to have a bunch of major updates and added stuff coming soon, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't miss any of these videos. Gonna be giving away some extra copies of the game that I got to subscribers, so all you gotta do is subscribe and comment your system below and I'll reach out. Also, I want to throw out there that I am in an online dynasty and I stream my games on Twitch, so if you want to check out the games when I go
Oh
live,
damn.
I'll drop the link in the
I didn't
description
even
below.
realize he was
So
on
let's talk
Twitch.
about what they addressed today. Now
I had
keep
to
in
watch
mind,
it.
this is not the big title update that we're waiting for. This isn't the first big title update. If you remember a couple days ago, I did a video on the 10 things that are going to be updated in the game.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
last week I
that's
did
the
a
one I
video where
reacted
EA
to.
talked about things that they're working on for the first big title update. This is not that update. That is probably coming in another week or two. This is a smaller title update, something that they were able to get out a little quicker to address a few key issues. But the bigger update that's going to come once every month is going to address a lot more stuff and also add things to the game, which is going to be much bigger than what we got today. But let's go over what they did today. It says this morning we distributed a smaller title update, which is designed to address some issues that have been affecting your gameplay experience. A larger title update will be coming in the near future, which will receive a full campus huddle detailing all of the updates coming to each
All right,
portion
so
of
they
the
already.
game.
I
So
like
like I
that they
said, the title
confirmed that.
update's going to address modes, gameplay, it's going to address everything, whereas this is just a small gameplay update, which is still good because there's some important things here that they needed to fix. They fixed the away team not being able to change offensive audibles and online head-to-head. That was
Oh,
super annoying. Glad they got that
oh
fixed. They
wow.
reduced the
I'm not an
frequency
online
of
player,
buffing the
but
kicker
I know
from
that'd
AI
be fun.
players on field goals. Another very annoying
What?
issue. It was to the point where I was not even calling field goal block anymore because it happened so often, and then it would extend drives. They
Wow,
fixed
I
the
did
rare
not know
issue of
about
the
that.
snap going behind the quarterback, and they also did stability and server improvements. Now, for those
Wait a
of you
minute, snap going behind the quarterback. I haven't seen that. I would say this. I wanted to mention this earlier, but I wanted to let him talk a little bit. I did see like one of the funniest bugs I've seen in quite some time. And from the comments I read, this was on Instagram. From the comments I read, it seems to only happen with like LSU. From what I've seen, like it seems to be like a LSU thing. So, I'm guessing he was in his dynasty mode. No, not dynasty. I think it was dynasty mode. He was playing with South Carolina, with South Carolina coming to LSU, and like the whole intro is going on, and then you see them like LSU like doing the little huddle up, and like at the corner you just see like a South Carolina player like right there. He's like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Yeah, yeah. And I looked at the comments and they said that it was like a LSU thing. Like one comment was like they trying to recruit everybody. Like, hey, Tiger Nation, baby. Go Tigers.
that have been around my channel for Madden, we know that every single update they throw that stability and server improvements in there. We don't 100% know what it means. We know obviously what server improvements are. We
It's
don't know
all on
what
the back
stability
end. That's why
improvements
that's
mean.
why you
We
don't
always
get too
assume
many
that's
details.
server related stuff, but it's kind of a vague term that they just throw in there. We'll take all the
It's
stability
a
things and
lot of
gameplay things, but we
stuff.
don't really quite know what it means.
All right, I'm sorry I'm pausing again, but I'm kind of glad that he brung it up about, not really knowing what the server, like when they say stuff like that. What they're talking about is like the server racks and stuff that they have like at different facilities, cuz like when you have a game that's like online, which is most games nowadays, you have a server like its own server room. That's its own cost, by the way. And that's what keeps everybody online, make sure everything is good. It's all technical on the back end. That's why they don't really like get into detail about it, because most people not going to probably understand it or care. So they say it very vaguely, but it's all like the server rack rooms. You probably seen them on YouTube, or images of them. It's those. That's what they mean by improving it. There probably some bugs or something that got disconnected, or just something that might have happened in one of the server rooms, because there's multiple, like with big studios, there's multiple servers. So it's not just in the EA headquarters. They have servers in other places that you might not even think of. So yeah, that's what they mean by that.
Asking in the comment section, what about these dynasty issues? What about some of the road to glory issues? All of that stuff is being looked at, and a lot of it will be addressed in that first big title update. Some of it might be addressed in the second title update. We don't know what's being addressed first, but we do know that they're aware of all of those things. They're working on them, and a good amount of them will be addressed very shortly in that next
And I
big
like the
title update, which, as I
communication that
said,
they
will
having
be
with the
maybe 2
community.
weeks from now at the most. Now, really quickly, before we continue with the rest of the video, I do want to mention that we are still sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. If
Shout
you
out to
love sports and
Underdog
you like winning
Fantasy.
money, then you've got on with the game that I'm seeing a lot of people every day in my comments section, every day on Twitter, complaining about that are intentional. These things are not bugs. One of these main things is creating players. Look, we knew well before this game came out that we were not going to be able to create
Yep.
players outside of Road to
But people
Glory.
don't
We
watch
also
videos
knew that
like
we
that,
weren't going to be
like
able to
this.
create prospects. This was very well documented. We knew this was one of the things that we had to kind of sacrifice in order to get the game back, because the whole reason the game went away 11 years ago is because they got sued. Now, I'll
Yep.
give you this. I don't fully understand what's legal and what's not when it comes to customization, because obviously we can create players in other games. I can put Travis Hunter in Madden right now if I want to, but I think part of the reason that's a little bit more of a gray area is because Travis Hunter doesn't currently exist in the NFL. I can put him on the
Yeah, I
simulators,
think
and
yeah, I
that's
think that's
not
why
really
too.
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter plays for Colorado. But then you might ask, well, why can't we export players from college to Madden then? Well, that's a little different, because EA is then assisting you and saying, here, you can literally do this. It's a feature. You could put Travis Hunter, the actual Travis Hunter, over to Madden, and we don't have his rights there yet because he's not signed to the NFLPA. That doesn't happen until they're drafted. Whereas if you go create him in Madden, that's kind of something you're doing on your own. They're not really assisting you in taking a player from that game to this other game where they don't have his rights. But you still might be asking, well, how can we create him over there, but we can't just create him here? EA's not assisting us in creating him. Well, if we create a player that opted out in this game and put him on his real team, then it would literally be recreating his entire likeness. So I think that kind of has something to do with it. But also,
Yeah.
just another thing to keep in mind, when it comes to this game, no other game has a target on its back like this game. We don't
Oh,
also know what EA
100%.
agreed to in order to do these NIL deals with players. Part of the agreement might have been that we will not let players actually create anybody, so that if you choose to not opt in, your likeness will be protected. Again, could EA pull this off and be okay?
They,
Maybe, probably, but they're
I
probably
would
always going to
not
be a
take
little
that risk though. If
overprotective
I'm
with this game
See,
because
you
of
can't
what
take
happened
risks
last
like that.
time. People are looking for any reason possible to throw lawsuits at EA over this game. It has a
Anytime it's a
target on its
gray
back, and
area,
so we knew
you
coming
do
into
not
this we
want to
were
take
not
that
going
type of
to be
risk.
able to create players in this game, because they don't want people creating players that chose to not opt in. They
Yeah,
also don't want players creating future
facts.
high-name prospects that are seniors in high school right now that have no choice
Oh
to
yeah, I
opt into the
definitely could
game
see
yet.
that
That's
right
something
now.
they have to steer clear of in order for this game to exist right now. Maybe that will change someday, but we knew going into this that that was not going to
It's a
be a thing. So
possibility it could
seeing
change.
people kind
We
of
seen a
complain
lot of
about it
things
now or think that
change
it's an
over
issue
the
or an
past
oversight, it's not. It's intentional, and we
4 or
know
5
why.
years,
And even with
so
that
who
aside, you
knows?
can still create players to some extent in Team Builder. You can change names, numbers, and all that stuff there. We can sit here and assume all day if they could get away with this, that, or the third, but what we don't know is what was actually agreed upon in order to get this NIL
Yeah,
deal
that's
in
true. We
place.
don't.
In order to make the players feel protected, they may have had to promise that if you don't opt in, we will protect your likeness. And if that's what we have to sacrifice for the game to exist,
Hey,
I'm
I'm
okay
fine
with
with
that.
that.
So basically what I'm trying to say here is your options were just
I know
instantly
I
go
had
to a
some
team forever or a new.
just want to mention this. I know I had a commenter mention that he wasn't gonna buy the game or support it or whatever. Why it was about the player not creating the player and stuff like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something to do with like create a player if I'm not mistaken. And like he was like still kind of like, well, I don't. It's not my company. I don't. Why you defending EA? Why you? And it's like, guys, anytime you say something like that, why are you defending EA? Why are you defend? No, I'm not defending nothing. I'm just stating what has been told. It's already out there. I'm not saying anything that's, oh my gosh, it's breaking news. It's out there. It's, you know what I mean? If you this up in arms about this, you should do your research as well. I'm just saying, in the nicest way possible. If you're gonna be up in arms about stuff like this, do your research. Cause how I know you don't do your research is when I let you know why it is how it is, instead of you saying, oh, I didn't know that, this and that. Hey, is there any more information about this? How could, we could work, we can try to, come to a conclusion of, well, maybe this, something like that. But instead, people say, oh, you're defending EA. You're an EA fanboy, whatever they're gonna call you. Just do your research, guys. Do your research before you get on Twitter and tweet. Do your and I know y'all not gonna do it, but for the people out there that's really want to know why certain things are not in the game or why you can't do certain things, just do a little bit of research. That's all I'm asking. Before you jump into my comments, that's all I'm asking. But let's get back into it. Sorry,
new game that had some
had to mention that.
limitations, but you're not really in any different boat than you were a year ago. You can still play 14. So I'd rather have the new game with some limitations because it still doesn't change the fact that 14 exists. I can
Plus,
still go play
plus
14 if
we
I want
have
to. But
real
I'd
life
rather have
players.
14 and an updated game that I can enjoy other aspects of than to just still have only 14 forever, if that makes sense. Another thing that people think is a bug or an issue but is actually intentional is the fact that you can't change your playbooks in the Road to the College Football Playoff mode. It's been said multiple times, this is an intentional part of the mode. They want you to use the
Yeah, I was about to
playbook of the
say,
team you
haven't
picked
they
in that
already
mode. They think
stated
it
that
makes it
this
more
is
unique, it makes it more challenging, and it
how it
also
is?
makes it look more accurate because you would never see Alabama running the flex bone. Now, is it something I agree with? No, I'd like to be able to change my playbook because I love that mode. However, I don't mind it how it is. I do think it makes it challenging. I think it does make it more interesting. If
I
I
don't
had
think
a
I've
vote, I
seen
would vote
people
to have
actually
people
played
change
it.
the playbooks,
Play
and
it.
maybe they will change that eventually if enough people don't like it, but it's not a bug and it's not an oversight, it's an intentional part of the mode. Now, in
And they
terms of
they
not being
stated it
able to
before it was
change your
released.
uniform in that mode, that I don't know. That could be something that was missed because that seems silly. So that probably will get changed at some point, but the playbook thing as of right now is intentional, and that'll only get changed if they just decide that it's the right move for the people because enough people complained about it. But on the other side, there's a lot of people that want it to stay that way as well because they think it's more realistic. So that's kind of a toss-up whether or not they're going to change it. Another thing that's not really so much of an issue and more of an intentional thing is the way the defense plays. Now, don't get me wrong, there's parts about the defense that will be adjusted. I do think they need to tune things like pursuit and stuff like that, but in terms of defense being not as good as offenses and it being more of an offensive game, that's a design
That's
decision. They
real.
wanted
That's
this to
real
be an
life.
offensive game because college football in real life is a very offensive game. Even the pursuit to some degree,
How
the
many
thing that's
times
bad
on
about the
Saturday
pursuit is
have
I
we
feel like
seen
even the
terrible
really good players
defenses
still don't
from
take the
really
best
good
pursuit, but
offensive
it's
teams?
definitely intentional that the lower tier players are not going to pursue as
Hell,
well
until
because they don't
recently,
want to do that
Ohio
in real life.
State,
That is actually
it
intentional, but
was
I
that
do
was that
think
was their
overall the
biggest
pursuit still
sore
needs more
thumb.
because even good players too often take very bad pursuit angles, and I think that is
They
where
can't
it's going
tackle
wrong.
worth a
But
shit
the
in open
defense in this
space.
game being tough, the defense in this game feeling like it's outmatched by the offense a lot is an intentional design decision of the game. Whereas when you play
That's
a
what
Madden
makes
game, it
college
definitely feels a little
football
bit more balanced because
have
the
those big
NFL is a
plays.
little bit more balanced. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I agree with every design decision or I think that they shouldn't buff the defense a little
Yeah,
bit. I do think they should do that. I'm just letting you know that not everything is
you
necessarily a
always, yeah.
bug or
I
an
think
oversight or an
improving.
issue. Some of
You
this
always
stuff is
do want to
actual
improve.
intentional design decisions, and depending on how the community reacts to it, they can go in these updates and adjust things if people don't like it.
Okay, that's it. I enjoyed this, and I'm glad he talked about like the what was I about to say? Oh, what was actually like what was supposed to be there? Because I did see some people complain about the defense. But that's how college football is in real life. It's not too many times. I mean, we seen like the big hits and stuff, but recent, even the top defenses we see get destroyed. You hear me? It might be a game where it's a team you ain't never even it's a school you ain't never even heard of before, and they drop 40 on Georgia. Come on now. Now I'm not saying, yeah, I'm just saying, like, as an example, they dropped like 29 on Georgia, like, and Georgia only giving up three points in the first couple of weeks. Like, what? Who are you? The quarterback then ran for 3 touchdowns. He's got like what? Got a cannon for an arm. You got wide receivers just out the blue. You know what I mean? It happens, okay? Very rare, but in college football, anything is possible. So just want to let you guys know that if you did not know that already. But I enjoyed this video, and it's a small update, but I think it's gonna fix a lot of things, and we shall see though. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this reaction. Love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.